Hey, this is Richard
And this is Landon.
with becomeawindowtinter.com.
And in this video, we're going to show you,
How to tint a roll-up window like a pro.
or Ninja,
Here's how it's done. So, how do you tint a roll-up window?
clean the outside of the window.
You can't put clean tint on a dirty window. This part's easy. Just scrub the glass with a non-scratch Scotch-Brite pad and wipe them dry.
Just be sure not to use the brown or green Scotch-Brite pads because they will scratch your glass.
Measure the window.
Here's how to do that. You might think that measuring from the front corner to the back corner of the bottom of the window is sufficient, but it's not.
And here's why.
As illustrated here, it's important to cut a piece of film that's big enough for your window.
If you forget to include the extremities of the window, you'll end up with a piece that's too short.
To prevent this problem, simply hang a tape measure from the back corner of the window like a plumb bob and measure from here to here.
Then add an inch or two. Remember, you can cut away the extra, but you can't put it back. The measurement for this window is 39 inches.
Now that you've measured your window,
It's time to cut your tint.
Here you see a 40-inch roll being split into two pieces, 40 inches long.
followed by layering the film back to back to prepare for double cutting.
Double cutting is an advanced technique, but we will cover that in another video.
Next, spray the window again and place the film on it, resting the bottom edge of the film on the bottom edge of the window frame.
Before doing any detailed cutting, you'll want to cut away all the excess film from the top, front, and rear sides of the window. This will make precision cutting easier.
Notice how the front edge of the film is now parallel to the front edge of the window. Now we can shift the film over the front edge and bottom edge prior to doing any more cuts. Now the film is overlapping the front seal and bottom seal by about an inch, and we're ready to finish cutting off the rest of the excess film.
Spray the film again and firmly squeegee it to tack it in place, making sure it will not slide around. Then, carefully remove the excess film from the back edge and the top of the window. By doing this, you will have an easier time with the rest of the cutting procedure. Many times you can use the rest of the excess film on other parts of the car.
Taking special care to hold the bottom of the film out away from the door, carefully roll the window down so that you can cut the top edge of the film across the top of the glass. Don't worry too much about cutting all the way to the corner. You can trim this part of the film later. To finish the cut, carefully tear away the film that remains by tearing the film upward and outward.
While holding the top of the film, carefully roll the window back up. Now it's time to mark the front and back edges of the film. The goal is to cut the film so that the back and front edges are hidden behind the outside seal. This prevents seeing the edge of the film as well as light gaps. At becomeawindowtinter.com, we recommend a method that is different than what many window tinters use. That's because most window tinters use the window frame or seal as a guide to cut the film here. This often can result in cutting the rubber seals. Instead, We recommend using a light to illuminate the seal and gently poke the tip of your knife through the film at 4 different points, so that when connected will result in an edge that's nicely hidden from view once the film is installed. Marking the front edge is done similarly. Notice here, however, that the mirror assembly covers the seal. In this case, using the blade of your knife, gently scratch a line without cutting through the film that lines up with the seal on the inside.
Now that you've cut the top and marked the sides, it's time to cut the sides by following the marks you've made. This is done by simply lining up the marks with a straight edge and cutting the film as you see here. A good quality metal straight edge with grip strips is extremely helpful for this procedure. After cutting the side, finish by trimming the corner tab that's left over on the top edge, taking care to match the curve of the top. Also, slightly round off each of the corners as you go along. The film will install more easily if the corners are not too sharp. If you don't have a peel board to work on, don't worry. You can cut on the glass of the car itself. Just be sure to use light pressure and always use sharp stainless steel blades. A good rule of thumb is to snap a new blade every 2 to 4 cuts. And if you feel a gritty texture in the knife as you cut, that probably means your knife tip is dull. Here you can see me snapping off a couple of blade tips to make sure that I have a fresh tip to finish cutting this piece of film. Now that your tint's cut, it's time to clean the window on the inside.
That way you can put it on.
Here at becomeawindowtinter.com, we highly recommend that you remove the lower rub seal on roll-up windows. Sometimes this requires removing the door panel completely, while other times you can just pull back the top of the door panel and pull up the seal. We'll cover door panel tips and tricks in another video. It's also very helpful after pulling the seal out to wedge the top of the door panel with a couple of rubber squeegees. This will give you more clearance to install the film. Once the seal is out and the panel is wedged, it's time to clean the window. Start by wetting the bottom quarter of the window. We like to use extra soapy solution for cleaning the glass. Now, using a fresh 1-inch razor blade, thoroughly scrape the glass downward, and don't forget to scrape behind the side seals where they cover the glass. Many times, cars will have stickers on the window in the bottom rear corner of the glass. If so, carefully peel the sticker and scrape all the glue residue left behind. Once you've thoroughly scraped the bottom of the window, flush the glass downward to remove any particles of contamination. We recommend using a pressure sprayer for this step to get the most reliable results. Once the bottom of the window is scraped and flushed, roll the window down until you can see the whole top edge of the window, typically 1 to 3 inches. Now, re-wet the whole window again with extra soapy solution and scrape the window with the same razor blade as before. Take care to be gentle when scraping the top edge of the glass, because you can bend the edge of the razor blade if you're too rough. A bent razor blade will not clean well, and you could scratch the glass. Cleaning the top edge of the window is a step that even many pros will skip, but doing so will help result in a superior installation. Simply wrap your wedge squeegee in a paper towel so that it is flat and gently wipe across the top edge of the window until it's clean and dry. If the top is particularly grungy, you can also use a Scotch-Brite pad. After wiping the top edge, follow up with gently wiping the remaining drips on the glass and wiping again behind the side seals with the paper towel wrapped squeegee. Now it's time to flush the whole window. During flushing, your goal is to push any contamination downward into the door. Start a few millimeters down from the top edge of the glass. Even though you've cleaned it, spraying the top edge of the glass is a very common cause of contamination in the film when it's installed. Now that you've finished cleaning the glass, it's time to install the film.
Your tint's cut, your window's clean.
The moment you've been waiting for. Now put that tint on the window.
In this video, we're going to show you two methods to peel the liner off of the film. The first is one that we call the bite method. Many professionals use this method. This method takes practice to get the hang of it, but it's quick and convenient. With this method, you use your teeth to separate the film, then grab the liner with your fingers. The second method we'll call the tape method. To use this method, simply place a piece of tape on either side of the film on one corner. Then, quickly pull the two pieces of tape apart. One piece of tape will hold the film, and the other will peel the liner. An important aspect to peeling the film is to spray the film thoroughly while peeling it. You don't want any exposed dry adhesive. There are two reasons for this. One is that contamination could stick to the film and make the installation look terrible. Additionally, if the film is dry and sticks to itself, you've probably ruined that piece of film.
If you've watched other videos of window tinters, you may have seen them pinch the film between their thumb and finger to pick it up. Don't do it that way. The superior method is to carefully slide your hand underneath the film and pick it up without touching the adhesive. It'll take some practice, but you can do it. One of the big challenges of window tinting is that you're usually trying to put a piece of film into a window space that's smaller than the piece of film. So, you've got to gently fold the film so that you can unfold it onto the window and then squeegee it in place. There are several ways to accomplish this. One way is to fold the film in the middle, as seen here. Then after dropping the film into place, spread the film outward so that it slides behind the two side seals. On other windows, it may work best to insert one end of the film into the window frame first, and then gently rotate the film until it is in position. Once you've placed the film on the glass, make sure there is a 1/16 inch gap between the top edge of the film and the top edge of the window. Then, squeegee with outward strokes starting from the center of the window. Now is a good time to make sure there are no gaps between the side edges of the film and the side seals that are visible from the outside. Use your free hand to hold the film in place while squeegeeing with your other hand until the film no longer moves around.
Once you're confident that the film is securely in place, it's now time to use a variety of squeegee types and angles to thoroughly squeegee the entire window. Keep in mind that you may need to re-wet the film frequently to give the squeegee good glide so that it doesn't move the film out of position. Here you see that while I started with the red urethane squeegee, I'm finishing the edges with the special custom cut wedge squeegee that we use at Become a Window Tinter. This squeegee is excellent for squeegeeing water behind seals and in other highly detailed areas without scratching the film. You can download the template for this special squeegee at becomeawindowtinter.com. When squeegeeing across the top of the window, it's best to use a squeegee wrapped in a paper towel. That way, the water is absorbed as it's pushed out of the edge of the film, preventing it from getting wicked back under the edge of the film, bringing dirt with it. Once you've completed squeegeeing the top half of the window, you can then roll up the window and finish squeegeeing the bottom. When you squeegee the bottom edge of the window, be sure to run the squeegee all the way past the edge of the film. This will remove the maximum amount of water and help prevent fingers from popping up. A finger is what we call a long skinny bubble that grows from the edge of the film. Once you've squeegeed the whole window, give it time to set up a while before you put the door seal back together. In this video, we taught you the primary steps to tint a door window. What are they?
Measure the window.
Cut the film.
Clean the window.
Put the tint on.
By following these steps, with a little practice, you'll be a pro in no time.
Thanks for watching, and check out our How to Tint a Back Window video by clicking here or in the description below.
Also, download our awesome step-by-step cheat sheets at becomeawindowtinter.com. Go ahead and just put that film on that window there.